Shooting USA is brought to you by SnapSafe and their full line of premium vault doors. Use code SUSA15 to save 15% at snapsafe.com. There is no denying that throughout modern military history, precision marksmanship has played front and center in the tactics of battle, and nowhere is that more evident than in the role of the military sniper. Historical accounts of sniper engagements from as far back as World War I point to developments that are still seen on the battlefield today, like the development of the sniper team format. So it only makes sense that the CMP's competitive games include a match that honors these precision marksmen and showcases their equipment. It's the Vintage Sniper Match from Range 1 at the CMP's Talladega Marksmanship Park. For the CMP, this is where it really comes together. Marksmanship skills and an appreciation for those who came before.
We stand on the shoulders of giants.
Absolutely.
That's what the Vintage Sniper Match is all about. Vintage battle rifles with period-correct optics in the hands of today's competitive shooters.
The line is ready.
They've gathered here this morning for the match that has become a popular finish to the week-long series of marksmanship games that make up the CMP's Talladega 600.
I like shooting all different type of firearms, but I do like the wood guns.
Of course, the civilian marksmanship program is no stranger to the wood guns. Over the last 3 decades, the CMP's purchasing program has put tens of thousands of vintage service rifles like these back into the hands of civilian marksmen throughout the United States.
The Garands and some of these old bolt guns as well are just fantastic historic rifles, and they're so fun to shoot, and to have the optics part of it adds a different dimension. And they're great guns. They shoot great as well.
Some of those great guns are M1 Garands, the semi-auto battle rifle that is practically symbolic of the CMP itself. The sniper version of the Garand is an adaptation with a 2 or 4 power scope mounted offset to allow for the Garand's top-loading 8-round clip. And of course, there are the iconic Springfield 03 A3s and A4s, arguably America's most accomplished World War II sniper rifles. Adapted from the great .3 of World War I, they earned enduring respect and admiration in the European and Pacific theaters. Shooter Stephen Dekich is competing with his original.
It's a rebuilt 1941 Marine sniper rifle from World War II. What the Marines used mostly in the Pacific, so 30-06. The custom shop here built it. CMP put it together from an old gun.
Beside Stephen is 17-year-old Charlotte Carroll. Ask her about her rifle and you might sense a hint of pride.
I shoot the same thing. Mine's just a little newer. I think it was one of the last ones they ever built.
It's no coincidence that Charlotte and Stephen are side by side on the shooting line. After all, the Vintage Sniper Match is a team match. Competitors will work as teams and be scored as teams. The paired teams of 2 engage 300-yard targets from the prone position, with one team member spotting and the other on the trigger. They each fire 10 rounds for score. Between the first and second relays, teammates have a chance to assess their progress. Remember, they're working toward a combined match score. So with the bigger challenge ahead, the pressure is on. It's not a long wait, though. On the famous Range 1 here at the Talladega Marksmanship Park, competitors with vintage rifles and low-power vintage scopes have the benefit of some of the most sophisticated, modern electronic scoring apparatus in the world. Each shooter knows in real time exactly how they're performing. And in just a matter of minutes, the 300-yard targets remotely drop away, making way for the 600-yard line waiting beyond. With the firing line ready, it's time to put 20 more rounds on target, and this time, it's double the distance. For Team Stephen and Charlotte, it's not exactly a walk in the park, But it's obvious that this team is not out of their element.
Charlotte shot really well. Nerves of steel. Took me a couple of shots to settle in my position, but once I did that, it was rocking.
It was.
In fact, only one jammed round has kept Charlotte from a near-perfect score for the last relay.
And I couldn't get the bolt to close, so I didn't get to fire one, but other than that, I only dropped one. So it would have been about a 99, but it was an 80.
Of course, it's not just about the score. The vintage sniper match is about connecting, both with other shooters and with the marksmen who first took these iconic rifles into battle.
Shooting these old guns is just a lot of fun.
Coming next, we'll learn about the new Category B, welcoming more platforms to the line.
Shooting USA is fueled by Hornady.
The CMP's vintage sniper match has always been a popular draw during the week-long Talladega 600 marksmanship games. And there certainly is an appeal to this match that likely stems from mastering obsolete technology under pressure. Or maybe it's about connecting with warfighters from another era and learning more about the job they did with the tools they had. Or maybe it's about fostering camaraderie through teamwork in an atmosphere of friendly competition. Or maybe it's all of the above. Army veteran Alan Ruzicka has high hopes for the rifle he's chosen for this match.
I do. We zeroed it at our home range, and I'm expecting it to perform.
Up until this year, Alan's Vietnam-era XM21 would have looked out of place here among the usual lineup of older battle rifles. But thanks to the CMP's new Category B classification, Alan's rifle is now legal for this match. And so are other Vietnam-era icons, like the M70 Winchester bolt gun, made famous by White Feather himself, Gunny Hathcock, and the M40, the Marine Corps sniper take on the classic Remington 700.
I have a collection, and I try to shoot the collection and learn about it.
But for Alan, being able to compete with his M14-based XM21 is particularly meaningful.
The Vietnam vintage instructors that taught me how to shoot when I was in the Army. So this is the stuff they always told me about, even though we did M16s. It's just for them.
Mike Payne is also taking advantage of the new B class to shoot his M40 Remington. But the special connection he brings to the match is with his teammate, daughter Holly Eustace.
Lately, she's been beating the pants off of me.
We just really started shooting together in the last year, and it's just been great to come out and bond and have a good old time.
We're starting to get her son shooting in these as well, so we got 3 generations of us shooting these matches now.
Another generational team is Brian Jordan and his 17-year-old son, Joe.
This is one of the few matches we get to shoot together as a team versus as competitors. And one of the few where I beat him. We're shooting the new classification, and we're not quite there yet.
It went well at 300.
6.8 our lunch.
It was bad at 600.
We had some loading challenges, a little bit different for us. Magazine fed versus traditional single shots, but we're working it out.
We like to do a lot of the vintage stuff together because, you never know what's going to happen. Like for the service rifle category, you're shooting like, an AR with a scope, and that's fun. But for these ones are a little bit different. They're a lot funner. Like they're actual rifles from 100 years ago, which is crazy to think about when you're shooting.
It's truly a team match, right? One person is shooting, the other person is helping any way possible. Looking at the wind, looking at the mirage, in my case, helping load and reload, and making sure that we fire on the same target, so we're not firing off target. And it's important to make sure that you're shooting within the time limit. Teamwork really helps out.
Of course, not all teams are family members. In fact, there are a few pairings you might not expect to see, like pretty much anywhere like Air Force and Navy, for example. Charles Clifton is a U.S. Navy Sea Cadet, and Seth Carrozza is active duty Air Force.
Go Air Force and Navy, beat Army.
Oof. Well, for Seth and Charles, it's so far so good on the 300-yard relay, with 600 yards yet to come.
First time shooting as a team, first time shooting this rifle ever. I think we're doing all right. Charles is providing a great job providing wind calls, telling me to hold center, favor left, favor right, etc. as he's watching the Mirage, and then I tried to return the favor for him.
Got a bunch of 10s, a few 9s, but I think we did pretty good, and just got focused on the next one.
Seth and Charles are fielding a classic Springfield for the match.
It's a model 1903 A4. It is a replica. It's almost identical to what our troops would have carried in World War II, whether it would be in Europe or over in the Pacific theater.
Both Seth and Charles are experienced high-power competitors, and they can tell you shooting a modern rifle system is a different game.
Compared to the old classic rifle, it's easy because you're shooting modern M16 platforms with quarter-minute of angle adjustments. These are old scopes. They are very coarse adjustments. Half-minute of angle is the best you can coax out of it. And you're using a 2-power scope as opposed to a 4.5 power or higher scope. So it's very much a shooting in its purest form, where it is the rifleman and the rifle having to work in concert. Aim small, miss small.
It's also a great example of a new generation learning from and appreciating the accomplishments of the generations before.
I don't know how they could have done it, with all the pressure going on, bullets wasn't passing, I don't know how they could do it.
We stand on the shoulders of giants, which is what our forebearers did in World War II.
The 22 Advanced Rifle Cartridge easily outperforms all other 22 caliber cartridges in its class, producing 22 250 performance in an AR-15 platform. The 22 ARC is engineered to take full advantage of the most aerodynamic 22 caliber bullets. This means tighter groups, increased accuracy, and an exceptional shooting experience. 22 Advanced Rifle Cartridge from Hornady.
Thanks again for tuning into the Shooting USA YouTube channel. We hope you enjoyed the content. A couple of notes. Make sure you take advantage of SUSA15 at snapsafe.com. That's our discount code that saves you 15% on anything from SnapSafe, and that gets to be some big money when you start talking about modular safes and vault doors. Also, if you haven't done so already, please consider subscribing and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our new content. As always, a like and a comment helps us with that algorithm.